What's up, everybody? We are back
Hello.
again. It's another date night, a Tuesday night, and this one's a crazy one. This one is an absolute. We are having an eclipse, and it's a supermoon. It's a blood moon. It's all those things, all happening tonight on date night. How exciting! How
How
exciting!
exciting. And I'm fighting off a cold, so don't mind the sniffles.
Yeah, it's been one of those. It's definitely been one of those weeks this week. I will definitely say there's been a lot that's been going on this week, obviously, especially since last week. It was craziness happening in the bar, and I decided to come back again to come to the bar. So it's not too bad. I'm in a different area this time where I'm not around all of the
All the
madness and the
nuttiness.
craziness that's going on.
How
It was
was
it was a little nuts.
calling out the starting lineup?
Uh, fun. I mean,
Good.
it was yeah, it was like it had been quick, and I said a couple of the names wrong, but that's part of life in the fast lane. You know what I mean? That's just kind of what
Did
happens.
they give you like the list beforehand?
They gave me the list. They texted it to me, so like because I needed to
Okay.
get it out right when they dropped the list. I wasn't even at the stadium, so I had to find a good background, and I did my thing and announced it and was really loud, and I was all painted up and all excited, to go to the Phillies Red Sox. The Phillies got their asses handed to them badly.
Well,
They got their
well,
asses handed to them.
hopefully the Rays will hand them their ass this weekend when I go watch the game. So
There you go. But it was but it was fun. It was a good time, and I had a great time at the baseball game. Obviously,
good.
everybody saw that I took that girl. I mean, I took the pictures and everything. Steve, thank you very much. I had to get another shot for this one.
Mom. Cheers. I'm drinking water.
Not to be undone, you know what I mean? But yeah, we had a blast. We had a
Water
blast
and
at the
ginger
game.
ale for me tonight.
Say again.
I said water and ginger ale for me tonight.
That's what happens sometimes, especially when you're not feeling so well. So, but yeah, actually, I had a really good time with her. I mean, as far as like, you know, yeah, you know how I'm pretty unique with my dates, anyways. So, like, when I go on a first date, I don't typically like to go on a first date as the Philly sports guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a way to go to do that. It's a little too much to invite somebody into.
It's a
Uh,
lot to invite. Especially if there's more than one of us. It's a lot to invite somebody into. We're we're a little
and
crazy.
but it worked out well. I mean, she had a great time. Her personality could rival my personality,
Good.
which was good, which was worthwhile. Like it's not something that's simple to have happen.
No.
So so I was like, all right, cool. That's I dig that, and so we had a good time, did our thing, whatever, what have you. Stopped, grab a drink, and called it a night afterwards. And then the next day I had a wedding. My niece got married. So and
Congratulations.
yeah, she's been with this guy forever. Like as far as I known her from dating, this was this guy. So, uh, and I wish them all the best. It was a beautiful wedding up in Kutztown, which is about 2 hours away from here. And so it was just an awesome time to go up there. Very nice ceremony. Getting to see all the family. You know, it kind of it's a little bittersweet because it makes me think of my mom. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I know my mother would really love those types of things, and they had a picture of her. You know,
Nice.
and also like some of the other family members that were there, and didn't get to attend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like weren't there, so. But it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. But
Hi, Kenny.
had to share that. And Billy, I saw you there, Billy. I just was everybody's checking in, saying hello. Sean, we were
Hello.
talking about you for a minute. We were talking about you for a minute, Sean.
We were earlier.
Just a little bit. You may
We
want to
just.
call in. You may want to call in. This might be a good episode for you to call in
It might
because
be a good episode for Sean to call in. So,
I
for those that don't know, Maddie, Sean's oldest daughter, came up and spent about a week with me this past week, and she just needed to get out of town and get have a moment away from all the stuff that was going on up there. And we had a blast. We had so much fun. We did sun beach, sun beach, sun beach just about every day she was here. So we had a blast, and I sent her home safe and sound, not pregnant.
well, that's good. I mean, that's the one thing that I was the most worried about. Is she going to go home pregnant?
She didn't go home pregnant. She didn't even go home talking to any boys.
Well, that's good. That's good. Although,
No,
yeah,
it was a lot of just really good girl time.
well, that's
Really
fine.
good girl time.
That's important.
Mm-hmm.
So, I, I, it's been an interesting time recently. It's I'm just getting ready to sell my house. I have certain things as I start to try to clean up. I'm beginning to find things that I remember from my ex,
Yeah.
and it's actually like some things you remember. Like it's like, hey, that was a fun time, or that was a bad time, or like
Yeah.
certain things that I like just kind of just trying to it kind of sparks things. And and then on top of that, it's like okay, then I had a first date, you know what I mean, and and as well as that turned out, like it's if things start to become
Clear.
funny for me, weird for me,
Funny.
you know what it's always what I always find it's me well enough, and now I'm going to let people in on my life here a little bit, and
Oh,
it's
I
uh,
probably already know this, don't I? Don't
yeah,
mind
well,
me.
yeah, I mean, I don't get giddy about anybody.
No.
I'm not a giddy guy. I'm not somebody who's going to even like it takes a minute. It takes you a little bit to grab my attention. To be very honest.
Usually a lot of minute to grab your attention. Usually it's a
Right.
lot of minute to grab your attention. And I think in 3 years, I think I've seen you get giddy over basically one, maybe two girls.
I would yeah, I'm trying to even figure out who the I mean, I like it when I have a good date. I
Mm,
like that. I find that that's fun, what I mean? Because good dates, it's what it's all about. Like, it's like, listen, when you're a single guy, there's so many bad first dates, that you have. And I've had a lot of them, and it's not that they're
lot
bad.
of bad first dates.
It's not that they're bad. It's just that they are, you're just not compatible.
Right.
And it's just, and I am, hey, when the one girl said that the Mohawk was a distraction, I still talk to her. We're still friends, and it's funny because she's
But
always
you're
telling me
not
that
going to
I
date
need to be.
her.
Oh well, absolutely. I know exactly where I stand with her, and she knows exactly where she stands with me. You know what I mean? It's just, but when somebody does get my attention, I start to go through this feeling, and it's interesting because I don't get feelings very often. I get feelings, I get feelings of anger, not anger. I don't really get angry, but I get feelings of pissed off for a second. You know what I mean? I'm Italian. Oh, wait, yo, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? Knock it the frig off. You know what I mean? Um, but it's rare. it's rare when look at this. No smoking.
What's going on?
I'm telling my story here
Not.
a
It's
minute.
already gone. It's already gone.
Both of you are both of you are so much trouble this week. You keeping me on my toes and entertained.
So I'm telling my story. That hey, listen, I started to get uh, a feeling. I was like, hey, I think that this may work, and then it doesn't, and it doesn't in a sense where I am. It's my fault because I got the feeling in the first place. Kind of, I feel like that because I got it maybe too soon, or I didn't verbalize it well enough, or because I'm a very guarded guy, very protective. I got walls up all the time. And in the process of that, when you think you got something possibly going, I start to become. Yeah, I don't know that I froze, Jen. Yeah, I don't know that I froze. I think that I think I brought in expectations. A lot of expectations.
You brought in a lot of expectations.
And because of that, it was different. But we don't get to see her. I'm gonna change the view here a little bit.
Don't you get to see what?
Oh,
Sean.
no. That's a little gross.
I had to change the view for just a second.
Hi, Crystal. I miss you already.
I miss you too.
There you go. That was who she
I
was
miss
talking about
Pup
just a few
too.
minutes ago.
Everybody misses Pop Up the most.
So, in the midst of all this, like it was like, all right, I'm doing my thing and whatever, and I said I like it when I get the feeling, that I might like somebody. Makes me feel like that I actually still have it in me to like somebody, which isn't simple. Sean, you don't know me, but Crystal knows me a little bit. I don't, I don't get that twinge often. The problem is it feels too much like a knife in between my rib cage. You know what I mean? And that's the same type of feeling that you get a little bit. And ultimately, I feel like that it's, one way or another, I'm going to screw it up. And I screw it up.
I don't think you screwed that up though.
Yeah, I don't know
think
that
either of you screwed anything up this week, by the way.
it's part of life. It's like when I was trying to explain it to somebody else earlier today, and how she's going through a little bit of a rough patch, and she has a hard time being by herself, and that not texting him or not calling him, and after being together for such a long time, and how difficult that is to do. And where I come in, and I'm like, it's easy for me not to text. It's when I start to worry for no reason. It's like listen, I don't. When does the expectation start to come? That's the hard part when you're starting to figure out dating. When do you have to start to bring on expectations? When do you expect to maybe hear from somebody or not hear from somebody? When does that come into play? And how do you communicate it well enough so that everybody knows that it falls into the same category? Because that's not easy to do. Not simple. And I'm not a communicator. I mean, I ain't easy to tell, like, hey, I want this. But
I think you set the expectation yourself of how the two of you are going to communicate. And then if that expectation is no longer being met, then that's when you have the conversation of hold up,
yeah, but
bring
how
it
do you
up
have
on
that
a table
conversation?
then.
How do you have that conversation?
It was wait, those are if the expectation should be set in the first 30 days.
Right. So,
Not
and
within
there you
like
have it.
the first week or the first 2 weeks or the first 3 weeks or the first like within the first 30 days you should have those expectations of how you guys are
So
going
I
to
get
handle
that.
that
I
stuff.
get that. So 30 days.
You
So
know
if it
me,
happens
I'm a
before
90
30
dayer,
days,
so
it is what it is. Sean,
I'm
what's
a
your
90
story?
dayer.
What happened to you, Sean?
Well, you guys know I went on that date. What was it? It's been over a month now. I went on that date and everything went, it was amazing and it blew my mind. And out of nowhere, she she said she's not ready and I support it. You know, nothing went wrong. Nothing, it just, it clicked in her head that she's not ready and it hurts, man.
Why does it hurt?
It you guys know I'm twice divorced and I have never been able to be so much of myself from the rip. And that's exactly how it started. I went into that first date going, she's going to get the goofy, weird, super high energy, just me, full blown, no questions. I'm going to be me. And she accepted me for me. And she was the same way. And things moved quickly. They didn't seem like they moved quickly, but things developed in a way that just seemed so natural. And then like that. I'm being as supportive as I can be. I'm being me. If she
You
needs to
are.
figure out her. She's an awesome person and I'm always gonna make sure that she's in my life, even if we never get back together and we're just friends. She touched me that much in the time that we spent together that she is too good of a person to let completely walk out of my life. So even if we're friends, I will be her cheerleader on the sidelines, rooting her on the entire way.
I can dig that. And that's like, hey, listen, like I said, it's rare that I get a feeling about somebody. So when I get that
Yeah.
feeling, I don't throw that feeling away. I just, sometimes I can't act upon the feeling. It becomes
Yeah.
harder to act upon it. It's, again, you just never know what the other person's doing, what's going on in the other person's life. And I mean,
Yeah.
and in your case, we talked about it a little bit on the show. It was like, hey, it's
Yeah.
I can fully appreciate the fact that you went full bore. You went in. You jumped in. You dove
Yeah.
in. Let's do it. This is how I do it. I'm doing it. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. No, I'm doing it this way. This is how I do it. And I'm going to do it this way. And I'm
Yeah.
going to, I'm going to sink or swim by doing it this way. And you swim for a minute and then it sinks. And then it's a shame because it sucks. Because it sucks.
Yeah.
Who wants to friggin' sink? It's like you start to flounder a little bit. Like I said, because it's so rare that I get any type of feeling about anybody. When I get that feeling, I don't know what to do with it. So I don't even know how to verbalize it because it's like I'm like, what is that? got something on me or something. Like it's kind of it's a physical thing because I don't know how else to feel it. Like it actually is a physical thing to me. So and it starts to put pressure, and it's
Are you having
okay.
a slight panic attack? Is that what's going on when you
No,
start
no, because I ain't panicking nothing. You know what I mean?
the cuff gets tied, you freak out a little bit, you start shaking.
You know what? It's just that, so it brings me back to our conversation a couple of weeks ago where it started to get me to think again about what it is I want out of somebody. And I learned a little something about somebody. You know what I mean? I learned a little something that, I want somebody to be able to keep up with me. And
Well,
that's
yeah,
not something that I thought about before.
I've always told you that.
Yeah, you might have, but
You weren't listening.
you telling me and me feeling it are two different things. You know what I mean? Here it is. I got all right, the girl down in Cleveland that I went on the date with that I didn't kiss. You know what I mean? You got her, and we had a great date. I didn't kiss her, and I still talk to her. I still text her back and forth. Obviously, she's in Florida. She travels around the country bartending. You know what I mean? Which is kind of cool. You ain't pinning her down at all. And there's something about that quality that I like because I'm that guy. I'm a flighty guy. I'm here. I'm there. It's coming close to football season. Everybody knows I'm going to be doing 17 games. That means it's going to be a really hard time to get my attention at that point. You got to get my attention now and keep it. And then you better hold on because that ride's going to get bumpy and crazy. And it's going to be a roller coaster. And it's going to be a
Yep.
great friggin' time, but it's a roller coaster. And you got to work that out or else it's not going to work out. And then on top of that, I got kids. I've got an ex, and my ex, I love my ex. My ex is great. She's a fantastic mother. I wish her all the happiness in the world. No girl is ever going to get in between me and my ex because I've learned how to co-parent now in a way that makes me very happy, makes her very happy, and I'm not going to have that screwed up for anybody.
No.
That being said, she gets all the happiness that she wants over there because I can't be that happiness. I know that now. You know what I mean? And that's a real statement. It's hard when you realize that. When hey, listen, I love you, but I can't be with you ever again because it will only go back to the way it was before. And we're not capable of being together in that regards. Which makes us have very real conversations. So I get to have real conversations now when it comes to that type of stuff. So, and then it comes to when is it the point that you start to mention to your ex that you co-parent with that you want to start that you're seeing somebody that you may start to have a feeling about? Because I kind of thought about this for a minute. In the midst of everything that kind of happened, I'm like, all right, I got this feeling right now, and I have to go see her. I have to go see my kids, but I have to go see her specifically. And do I mention it? Do I not mention it? And
I'm in a totally different realm on this one, so I'm gonna let Sean answer this one. I don't know what you guys do. Do you say anything?
My ex and I, when we have anything to do with the twins, we only talk about the twins. We're very open about everything with them, but this is what's going on, pick up, drop off, here's what happened during the week. That's that.
So would you ever pull her aside at any point in time and say, hey, I'm seeing somebody? Or before you introduced the twins to anybody?
I did tell her when I started dating Heather, I told her, I was like, listen, Like, just so you know what's going on, here's the deal. And I gave, I was like, she's awesome. Like, she's got kids herself. She's a good mom. Just kind of a, here's the deal, and I expect that in return because, I need to know that my kids are, if they're going to be around someone that, okay, it's somebody else with kids. Hopefully they're a good parent. But it's just kind of a whole thing with me where I want to make sure that she knows, because if she has any issues with it, that way, if she's got any questions, she can
You
ask.
got to be transparent. You have to be. You have
Yeah.
to be somewhat transparent here. You can't. Like, I don't want a rift come between. So a few months ago. Sorry,
Is
guys. The
that Jimmy
bartender gave
ordering
me
your
an eye.
shot?
The bartender gave me an eye. I'm like, yes, I will take one. Thank you. Um, I'll say a few months ago, but it's really more like a year ago. I had a friend come over, and she stopped by. She had been drinking. She wanted to come by and thank you, I appreciate it, and play with the dog a little bit. And my daughter took to her a little bit and called her mother and said that she didn't want her to leave. And I was like, she didn't want her to leave. Like, that's great and all, but she's a friend. She's not that girl. And she was a lot younger than me, a lot younger. So I got it a little bit that she's coming over not just to play with the dog. She's trying to figure out if I'm Mr. Robinson. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's and but my kids were there, so it makes it a little bit harder to play Mr. Robinson. You know, when your kids are there. And then she called, and then in fact, in process of this, Amanda came over upset about something completely different that spawned a whole like conversation because something that happened with her and her ex-husband that had to do with their daughter, that had specifically to do with me. And I'm being really cryptic about this all because ultimately it really came down to the fact that I think that my stepdaughter, is the best way I can explain it, said that I smoked pot in front of everybody. And I didn't smoke pot in front of everybody, but she said that I did to her father. And her father used that against because she's got a very volatile relationship with her ex on that side because of the ex-wife. The new wife is really helps make things volatile. The truth of the matter is that it's volatile because it's volatile, and I don't think it has anything to do with anything. I mean, they've got a really difficult life over there because she's got 3 children. One is very special needs, and there's certain levels of walking in the shoes that I can understand that I know Amanda cannot understand because she's just getting yelled at. She's sort of the the whipping post sometimes, and she can't pull herself away. She gets emotional about it, and I can understand that. But but here now I've got my ex, my kids, and the young girl who's playing with the dog, all in a vicinity of each other. Like, and they didn't see each other all at this time. Like, I got my kids upstairs. I got her playing with the dog. I stopped Amanda here at the front door. Like, I'm like, whoa, what is going on here? Like, this is way out of line. I'm pulled in all these different directions, and I'm figuring she's there because she knows the girl's here. And then she hits me with the problem that, like, I'm like, what? Oh, it's that? No, there was nothing that happened like that. You know what I mean? Go home, go home. I'm like, oh, what a mess, what a mess. Ultimately, truth of the matter is that she told me she knew that the girl was there, and I got to imagine that it may have been more built up because my daughter called up her mother saying, hey, there's a girl here that I don't want to go home. She's getting it from the other side. Hey, your ex is carrying my kid around smoking pot and driving them around. That ain't happening. You know what I mean? And when none of that happens, you know what I mean? None of that happens. It was, that was a
Crazy.
fun evening. That was a fun evening. You know, and we get over it. We learn about it, but that was where we communicated. Was like, hey, listen, if I was interested in somebody, and I was going to start to date somebody well enough that I'd be interested in including her, like when I'm doing
In
stuff
your
with the
kid's life.
kids. Yeah, when
Now,
I'm doing stuff with the kids, I'm doing stuff with the kids, and I don't include anybody else. But truth of the matter is, I'd probably do a lot more fun stuff with the kids if I had somebody else with me. Because the kids, I love my kids to death, but they're on their phones all the time. You know, I can't bring them to a game because they ain't interested in the game. You know, they ain't interested in like I try to take them fishing. They're yelling at each other that I wind up holding all three poles because they want to go back on the phone instead of fishing. So
I think that there's a difference between having a conversation with your kids' parents and saying, "Hey, I'm dating somebody seriously," versus getting their permission. Hey, I want to know if it's okay if I date this person.
Yeah.
well, and I hear that. You know, it's. I don't want to ask permission. I'm not asking permission to date. You know, I am telling her that I am possibly getting to the point where I am ready to introduce somebody to the children. She's asking me if we could go out and have a drink previous, before I would introduce her to the children. Can she meet them beforehand? And I'm okay with that because ultimately, if it's going to work between me and this person, then she would have to meet them anyways. You know, I would want them to meet because again, the girl's not going to get in between me and my ex or me and my kids. And I need her to understand that part too. It just says I would not want to get in between her ex, like, or any of her relationships. You know, it's
No,
like, I mean, I'm close to 50 years old now. Anybody that I date is going to have a past. That past is going to be
Yeah.
littered with people that are friends. Some of those friends are going to have Some of those friends are going to have had the same bone that this dog has had, that this dog has. You know what I mean? And that's how you got to look at it sometimes. It's like, you know,
so now
when
what would happen though if she met that person out and you guys were all sitting around having a conversation and she decided that she didn't like that girl and she was like, yeah, I don't like her, I don't want her to meet the kids.
not her
Bummer.
say, not her say. Yeah, I'll be like,
Yep.
sorry,
Nope.
sorry.
One
I mean, you had
100% behind you on that.
that's where you got to trust me now.
Yeah.
I told you nobody's going to get in between us. Nobody is going to get in between us. End of story. You know, that's that. I am not your ex who has to get manipulated by another woman because has no backbone. I have a strong enough personality that I am going to be that guy. And I'm going to stand up for my children. And if you don't like that girl, well, thank God you don't have to date her.
Right.
And that's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's not a meeting for her to approve. It's having a meeting so that she knows who's meeting the children.
yeah.
And ultimately,
it's like just a
I'm a
respect
father,
thing.
so
Yeah, it's just, like in my case, it's just a respect thing. You know, if Lindsay would have wanted to meet Heather, then by all means, I'd have figured it out and they'd have met. It's just a respect thing, you know. And I can't if the twins' mom starts dating somebody that I don't like, I don't have a say in that. I will put on a smile and act like there's not a problem because it's none of my business. If it involves my children and they start doing something wrong with my children, then it becomes my business.
whole different
But
scenario. Whole
It's
different
up to
scenario.
their mother to ensure that it doesn't happen. Yeah. Yep. But it's I have zero place or permission. You don't need my permission to date someone else, and I don't need your permission to date someone else. We're not together anymore. Trust put our children around other good people.
Right. And that's what's most important. That's what's got to be the most important thing moving forward. You know, it's like, yeah, I've seen different women throughout my life who have brought in different men into their children's lives. And it makes things challenging for the kids in a lot of different ways because it starts to set precedences that can't be undone. You know, the fact that I'm sorry you can't hear me. Here, come on, say hello, say hello. This is Danielle. She's the one that writes Danielle all the time. So come on, hurry up.
Hi, Danielle.
So loud in here, I can't hear anything.
I know,
What's going
sorry,
on, Danielle?
but do you want headphones and you can listen on a phone?
It's kind of laggy on Facebook. You can only it's slow.
I'm sorry.
No.
Anyways, this is the fun part about having it at a bar. You come up and have people come in and say hello. But anyways, I, it be, I kind of lost a little bit of my train of thought. The ADD kicked in. The ADD kicked in.
ADD kicked in.
So
I get it. I get it.
I don't know.
So now what if it's the opposite case where if the ex doesn't want to meet you?
If the ex
That's fine in my eyes.
doesn't want to meet, if my ex doesn't want to meet the person I'm dating,
Yeah, if she was
that's
just
fine.
like, I don't want to meet her. I don't want to be in the same room with her. I don't
That's
want.
fine. That's absolutely fine.
We were. I was in that situation.
Go ahead.
I was in that situation with Heather where her son's dad had to stop by the house, and I was like, "Do you want me to meet him?" And she was like, "No, it's not a big deal. Like, just hang out here in the house. I'll go out there and I'll come back in." And I was perfectly fine with it. He was perfectly fine with it. She was fine with it, and that's kind of how it has to be. I mean, if they want to, cool. If they don't want to, cool. It doesn't. The ex isn't involved in the relationship, so if nothing needs to happen, then nothing needs to happen.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer, just me personally, and I'm not talking about how anybody else should or shouldn't be, or how any other relationship should or shouldn't be. But you always have to try to work out some type of congeniality for the children. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work. But you have to, you got to always strive to do it because your children are only going to ever have one mom and one dad forever. And that's the way that that's ever going to be. And they're both going to love the children wholeheartedly. And it doesn't matter whether the two of you can get along or not. Because ultimately, whatever bad you got to say about that person, they're still the father of your children, and they still love your child the way that you love your child. And that's that. And
And that's
that's
that.
and that's that. So sometimes it takes you having to be a bigger person to try to figure out like how to get beyond it. When you don't want to figure it out and you want to be combative, well, who's it hurting?
The kids.
Well, but it hurts you too. It hurts. It
Yeah.
hurts the individuals as well. Because it's ugly. You know what I mean? I know what it was like because hey, when I was fighting with Amanda and we broke up and we were still fighting, it's the fighting is anger at yourselves because you failed. That's what it is. You're yelling at that person, but really you're yelling at yourself. It's a mirror. You're looking in the mirror and you're yelling at yourself.
Mhm.
Whether you want to believe that or not is on you, but that's what's happening. When you're having that type of argument, you're yelling at yourself because you feel you failed. And it's easier to blame somebody else instead of taking the responsibility. But realistically, that's what you're doing. You're yelling the responsibility at somebody else that you wanted to take. And I'm a firm believer of that. I'm a firm believer. And anybody can tell me that they're doing something differently, and that's not the case. I know it's not the case because I know well enough. You can fight it all you want. Truth of the matter is that you got to own your own. There's only one person in the world that's going to make you happy, and that's you. There's only one person that's going to be able to mix your emotions the way that you want them mixed, and that's you. Everybody else is doing that. They may add different fuel to the fire and whatever, but it's only you that gets to feel the way you feel. And that is only that when you realize that, when you figure out that one moment in time that you know that it's you that's dealing with this and not anybody else,
And
things
you
start
have
to
to
become a lot
and you have
easier.
to work through it in order to heal from it.
So
Really.
it doesn't matter what anybody else says. It doesn't matter what other, like if somebody else is sitting there and they're yelling at you and they don't like something that you're doing whatever, and you're doing however it is that you feel that's best to do. You got to feel that it's right, that it's best to do. You got to stand behind your principle, and you just got to you nod your head and smile. It's because you don't have to argue back. You don't have to fight them back. They're going to do whatever it is that they're going to do, and you're going to do whatever it is that you're going to do. And really, like I said, if you guys are both parents of the same child, you should do that as amicably as you can,
Mhm.
all the time, all the time.
Sometimes the best way to handle that situation and to actually win is to walk away. Is to walk away and be the bigger person and not
Right.
feed into it. And just cut ties in the best way that you can.
Agreed.
Yeah. And
Hey, listen, there's lots of relationships out there. So
You guys will find one.
yeah.
Jamie's fast playing
Hey,
in the
for all
backyard.
I
It's
know,
It's the
for all I know,
supermoon. It's
Heather
the
and I get back
supermoon.
together down the road. Who knows? Yep. Who knows what's gonna happen?
Who knows what's
You
going to
know,
happen?
Who
It
knows?
the
is
one
the
thing
super
that I
moon.
the one thing that I know of is that I have a lot of love to give. I do. I have a lot of love to give. And it's not traditional love,
Yep.
like I'm not a monogamous guy to the tune that I know of. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was weird that I started to like somebody to, you know, for a minute. You know, it's weird to me. When I start to like somebody and like I'm like, ooh, what is that? Like I said, it's like is something on me. Like
Ugh.
I'm not used to it. And
It-
I explained it to somebody. It's like it was like I got to remember that I have a soul, that I'm not an empty shell that's got a lot of great parts,
Is that how you
but that
feel,
I
Sean? You
actually
feel like
do
an
have
empty
something to
shell that has a
offer.
lot of
And
great parts? No? Yeah.
I you guys
I mean, it sounds
know
weird to say it that way, but
how how long did I spend swerving and sidestepping any woman that tried to talk to me? And you guys were like, no, get out there.
Mhm.
This happened spontaneously. We went out to dinner the night we started talking. Jamie hasn't heard me say this yet. Crystal, you have. I fell hard, head over heels. I am. She. I'm.
oh, I've heard you say that.
I am in love with this
I heard you
woman,
say that. I
and
tried to help you. I, I tried to help you a little bit with this.
I dude, she touched me in ways that nobody else ever has. I've never been able to, like I said, it, I was able to be me, and she still
I had such a
smiled
funny
and
thing to
kissed
say
and
there.
held
I'm
my
just gonna let
hand.
it
Like it
slide.
was so. It was just it. I hope and pray that her and I get back together when she works on whatever she has to work on, and even if we don't, I will hold people to the standard that she treated me, even for that brief time, because no one has treated me as good as she did. No one accepted me for who I was more than that woman did. I, I am forever grateful for the experience that I got to have, no matter how brief it was, because it just, I've never had anything like it. Never.
Maybe it was a lesson learned.
Time will tell.
Maybe it
Time
was
will
a
tell.
lesson learned that
Yeah.
you're worthy of being treated that way, and you are worthy of giving love that way. Jamie's shaking his head because he hates it when I say this stuff.
We'll see what happens.
Hey, listen, I know the one thing that I am 100% certain of for myself is I know what my worth is. I know that what
Mhm.
I have to give is worth something to somebody who wants it, who
Mm-hmm.
wants it. And when they want it, they're going to want it the exact same way that I want it. And sometimes it ain't that easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not that simple. You know, and you can't make somebody want it the same way you want it.
No. And you can't
It's
make
gotta be
somebody
a
be
different
ready for it
scenario.
either.
Yeah.
I mean, I said I am excited for a lot of different people. You know what I mean? I have feelings for a lot of different people, and if I get a feeling for you, it doesn't disappear. I don't. It doesn't go and like, hey, oh well, I'm done. Flick, I'm gone. See ya later. You know what I
Nope.
mean? It's just that the feeling remains, and that's what makes me who I am. I made and being a super fan, I see so many people, and people come up and take pictures with me all the time, and they share their moment with me, and sometimes I don't remember that moment. You know what I mean? And but it's an exciting moment for them. And
Mhm.
I don't get and I don't remember that moment as well
No,
for
we
them.
have too many of
But
them.
but when they come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I saw you," I remember this game, this moment in time, and this stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, I absolutely remember that. I remember that there was a bunch of people that came up and took a picture with me, and you were one of those people. That's amazing. You know what I mean? Because I remember the time. Because I don't, like it says, it's not like I'm wasted or doing those types of things. It's me being me. You know what I mean? I want to be me. I want to be able to be there for everybody as best as I possibly can. And the person I want to be with me during that, it was funny when I would talk to Amanda. I'm not going to call her my ex anymore. I'm going to call her Amanda because that is her name, and we are exes, but that's her name. You know what I mean? Let's be for real about this. So when I would talk to Amanda, I would tell her, like when I started dating her, that I was looking for that I feel like that it doesn't matter whether it's my party or somebody else's party. I'm the host of the party, and I'm looking for my hostess. I'm looking for somebody who can handle themselves without being right up my ass. Somebody who I can look across a room and give a quick smile to, and she'll know that I got her back, or she could give me a quick look to let me know, hey, I need to come save her from a guy that she's stuck talking to for too long, you know, and that we've got each other. You don't get that quick. That takes
No.
time. That requires a lot of energy between all the parties involved to get that type of thing. When you start to feel that a little bit, like I said, it's been a long time that somebody was able to fill that shoe a little bit, which is probably what sparked the interest in the first place. It's like, oh, wow, look at this. She's got a personality as big as mine. Okay, I dig that. I
Those
don't
are
know if
those
it
are big
worked.
shoes to fill.
That's a big shoes to
And
fill.
listen, it's just all you got to do is fill the part of the shoe that I want you to fill. You ain't got to fill the entire shoe because I'm standing in these shoes. I want us to stand together. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm looking for. I don't want us to be I don't want me to be here and you to be here. I want us to be equal. And I can't find that. I can't find that. Because it takes a lot for somebody to be equal to me. And it's hard work. I'm not a lazy guy by trade. Just I'm always on the go. I'm always moving. I'm always wanting something. And I'm always going after it. And if you're lazy, uh, and let me change that word. If
That's
you're
not a good
not
word
that
to
way,
use, Jamie.
if you're not that way, you start to become an anchor and you start to hold everybody back. At least that's in my life. At least that's in my life. I'm not
You
talking about.
you need somebody to match you. You need somebody to match you step for step as best as they can. And that's a big deal. I get it.
Well, and I don't need them to match me. I need them to want to. They don't have to match me because I can carry them if they want to. And that's the hard part about this. That's the hard part about. That's why when it comes down to it, I'm okay by being by myself. I'm all right. I'm okay. This is me. This is how I'm doing it. And end of story.
Nothing
End
wrong
of
with that.
story.
You know, is that worth it? Is it not worth it? I don't know. I don't know.
You boys will figure it out.
I
Hmm.
don't know if we ever will.
I don't know. We'll
If
see.
not, you're just stuck with putting up with my ass. So there you go.
Well,
And there you go. On that note, let's roll the film, shall we?
Let's roll the film.
yes.
TikTok
Roll
it up.
some clips. All right, I think this one came. I don't recognize this one, so I think it probably came from Crystal.
Haters, damn, y'all mad. 30K on the caddy, now how backpack rap is that?
I got that all-black Cadillac, midnight drive. Got that gas pedal lean back, taking my time.
So that's the girl that I've been following, who's always got the guy's back. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it this way.
Is she the one who slides in front of the mirror every time?
Yes, that's her. That is exactly
I follow
her.
her too. She is awesome.
See, look at that. We're TikTokers. Obviously, he knows what exactly I'm talking about.
Yep.
I'm going to put you over here because then I'll be blocked out. Here's another girl that came from me.
So based off my TikTok, people are like, well, lower your standards. No, I will not lower my standards. I know exactly what I want, and if someone can't give it to me, then bye. I would so much rather be single for the rest of my life than settle. I would so much rather be single for the rest of my life than lower my standards. I would so much rather be single for the rest of my life than put up with something that I don't deserve. I know what I deserve. Fuck out of here.
I'm the queen of my castle.
Yeah.
You know, and when I saw that video, this girl's another one. She's got a couple of videos like this, and then she's got a couple of videos like, "Hey, where is the guy who's going to sleep with me because I am horny?" You know what I mean? So she goes both ways with this. So, but
Probably depends on how many glasses of wine she's had.
to each their own. To each their own.
Hey, no judgment here.
Here was one of Crystal's a little earlier. This woman's a little jaded as far as I thought, but you could tell me.
Hello, my buttercups. So I'm going to ask about dating, once you divorce. I was 39. Look, especially like people who are 30, 40, 50. I'll give you some tips. I'm blunt, so I'm just going to lay this out there, what I learned the hard way. Go on public things that you don't have to get their phone to look at, like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. See who they're following. See what they attract. Because if they're just about the physical nature, they ain't in it for this. Also, don't tell people what you fear. Don't tell people what you're looking for. Don't do anything. Just go into it because you need to let them be who they are so they can show you who they truly are. Because most of the time we show them what we don't like and they adapt to that. And then once we're hook, line, and sinkered and we fell in love, you're so much in love, you can't leave because you're like, oh my God, how am I going to live without them? And the biggest thing for me was this. Snapchat is so big nowadays. Well, if the first thing they want to do is know your Snapchat, why do you want to keep our shit private? Why can't we talk like normal adult people? So that's a hell no for me. So that's 3 signs for me that you can look at because dating sucks ass today.
Yes.
Dating sucks ass today.
So
Dating sucks ass.
do you guys really do that?
Do
You
what?
guys see somebody that you like on TikTok or on Instagram, and then you go on a first date with them, and then you go stalk them, and then look at all their followers.
I do that shit before I even go out.
That's really
I
a
do that
thing.
before I
I
even
am
go
not a
out.
creeper. I am not a creeper. And I'm not calling people that do it creepers. I just feel like that I'm a creep if I do that.
I do it because I'm really good at picking up on things with people and things like that. I'm really good at noticing little things. And if I can see, okay, they're only following, say on TikTok, if you go in and you look at who they're following and you see 30, 40, 50 guys all in a row that are super muscle bound, deep V-neck, tattoos
With
everywhere.
this medium t-shirt.
Yeah. Those if you can tell Like if you see, you can almost guarantee if that's the type of thing that they're following, they're not looking for a real relationship. They're not looking to be with someone. They're looking for something that's going to be a good time, a few nights a month, and you're not going to be the only one. But if you see that they're following a lot of comedians, motivational people, just random people who make decent content, then you know that they've got a genuine heart. They've got a good soul. You know that they're going to be a good person. Or at least they can project that very well.
So you're going to go off of who they're following, not who's following them.
I feel like the Barbie.
No, because if you go and look at mine, I've got like 8,400 followers right now. And I looked at my analytics today. I've got 86% of my followers are women. It's just because I'm a guy who speaks the truth on the top. Hey, I didn't ask to look this way. That's my mom's fault. If anybody's got a problem with it, they can talk to her. But yeah, it doesn't matter who's following them. Pay attention to who they follow.
They're just trying to get laid, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. At least you know. Next.
What do men want in a woman? Broken men want fixers. Immature men want mothers. Good men want partners. Hardworking men want supporters. Lazy men want enablers. Insecure men want puppets. Abusive men want objects. But men of God, they want their rib.
Men of God want the real. Is that what he said?
No, he said rib.
A rib. I just thought it was interesting.
Was interesting.
A lot of it's very true.
Well, I all the way up to the rib part, because it wasn't until you guys said that I actually understood that. I'm like, they want the real. Is that what this is?
No. Was that the last one, Jamie?
No, I have two more actually.
All right.
So this one, I think this one is the same girl actually that I showed maybe second.
Have you guys seen the girl that's like, ways to make him think about you, part 7? I have one. So if someone texts you after like not texting you for like a day or something, I don't know, whatever. You guys don't talk that often, but you're like trying to like, come on, fall in love with me, you know? A guy just texted me, hey, how's it going? And I was just like, hey, that's so weird. I was just thinking about you. Send message. Send another message and say, but how's it going? I'm good, blah, blah, blah. You know, respond to like whatever their message was. I guarantee you he's going to be like, what? You were thinking about me? What? Guys, tell me if is this real or am I just like making it up? But ladies, try this. Let me know how it works.
What do you think?
It's manipulation 101.
Well, she said that right off the gate. I need you to fall in love with me. Fall in love with me. Me. Do it. I was just thinking of you.
Reasons why I swerved women for how long before I met Heather? I mean, this is part of what's wrong with dating in today's society. It's all about doing the things you can to get the person to do what you want to do instead of just living life and coming together. Like, come on.
All right, I'm gonna confess something here, and I want to ask an opinion. I want to ask an opinion.
All right.
So recently, and recently is being a general term. I slept in the same bed with someone The first time we did it, we didn't have sex. The second time we didn't have sex. I had somebody tell me, a female tell me, she's like, the second time that you did that, I don't know that was a good idea. You should probably have been more proactive. That I should have did that. I'm like, well, I don't know. I said I didn't want to like be at the point where I was like trying to rape a girl in her own bed. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to do that. I was trying to be a gentleman. I was like, hey, listen, we'll have sex when it's time to have sex. You know what I mean? I don't need to sleep with you to like you. In fact, almost less so. If I sleep with you, I ain't interested in really liking you because I slept with you. I don't know.
Uh,
What's your opinion?
Crystal?
I
When
think
you're
that
ready.
I think that that's just a circumstantial because if we were sleeping in the same bed and things were happening and we were making out and all of a sudden you just like stopped and was like, I'm going to sleep, then I would feel rejected and then I would question what's going on there. If if we were just like both drunk and we just both slept in the same bed and it just happened to be that way, then I wouldn't have that expectation there.
All right. So, all right. Crystal.
If I sleep
All
in
right.
the,
So,
if
so
I
let me
sleep in the same bed with a guy on more than 2 occasions, that I am that there's no sexual anything there, I friend zoned you.
Huh.
Yeah.
See, now that's an interesting. That's a whole different take. That's a whole different take.
Me personally, if we are sleeping in the same bed and
But all right. So, all right. Let me change this up. Let me add a little bit of flavor to this. Uh, you're sleeping in the same bed and you are cuddling them.
cuddling means, Jamie, I cuddle with you on the couch all the time. Stop it. Same thing.
Yeah. Actually, truth of the matter is that you don't really cuddle with me on the couch. You don't really cuddle with me on the couch.
Well,
I'm not really a cuddler. I mean, so I'm not really a cuddler. I'm being dead honest. I know me. So like I know that you can sit next to me on the couch,
right,
and it not be weird,
right.
But you're not like sitting there putting your legs over top of me.
No.
Right. That's a cuddling moment.
Okay.
You're not doing that. You could sit next to me, and that'd be okay. I'm talking the cuddling moment where now somebody's got their legs over top of me.
Okay. Like those kind of cuddling moments.
Yeah. There's different kinds of cuddling. That's that's my mom actually.
Oh wow. I just got mom there. I was like, okay, I'm in the friend zone. Well, then maybe it's not a surprise that when you feel certain ways that you feel. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. I don't know. I don't feel that way though. I don't feel that way. I feel like I was being a gentleman. And again, this goes back to the same way. Maybe I did it wrong when I didn't kiss the girl. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe I should have kissed the girl. Maybe I should have whipped it out. You know what I mean? Maybe you should have. You know what I mean? Let's be for real, I guess. But you understand now. Now you know what I'm talking about. Like it's like, at what point is being a nice guy no longer being a nice guy? You know, like at what point is it like, all right, I am. Hey, listen, I'm into you. I want to do all the things that I want to do.
For
do I just need to go down? Do I have to start being, you know, Liberace? Ah, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like, do I need to start playing that game? You got exactly what it was that I was saying there.
like for me, I won't say if I sleep with you on a first date, it almost guarantees in my mind, for whatever reason now, probably because of past events, things like that. If I sleep with you on a first date, it shouldn't be that easy for me. I'm sorry. Like, let's go out a couple times.
Yeah, I'm not that way either. Like sometimes the chemistry works the way it's supposed to work, and you sleep on the first date, and then so then it's like the chemistry on the second date. So the problem is that when you have the chemistry, is it the chemistry that creates a fire, or is it the chemistry that creates something moving forward? The problem is that the chemistry that creates the fire, now you've seen each other a second time and you're sleeping with each other. And then you see each other a third time and you're sleeping with each other. And that usually explodes, and ultimately it's no longer nobody sleeping with anybody.
Yeah.
At least between the two of you.
And that's
see, this would be the perfect spot where if Zach was watching, I would have Zach come on, because Zach is a little bit more. Zach is that guy who just will sleep with everybody. And I'm not saying he's a very affable guy, a very friendly, good-looking guy. He's just very friendly, and he just gets propositioned a tremendous amount of times. I would say that I have a very similar personality to Zach. However, he's on a much different level when it comes to women in comparison to me. And I'm going to have him on the show one time, because I tell you, when you can't help but get enamored with the guy. He's funny. He's exciting. He's a good-looking guy, and he gets the joke. You know what I mean? When you're all those things, you have to understand that you're all those things, and you got to get the joke. And again, it's like closing a deal. You got to always be closing. You got to ask for it. Be like, hey, are you going to lick my ass or not? You know what I mean? And when he does ask that question, they're usually saying, yeah. And God bless it. God bless him that he's able to do that. You know what I mean?
That guy hitting on me at a bar, he never goes well.
I see, you say that until you actually meet him at a bar.
I've met those guys at bars. They drive me insane.
Okay. I can't say, you know what, because I can't say that, let's bring him on the show and that's going to be exactly the same way. No, because your guard's already up. You already know. The problem is if you didn't know who he was, like you said, he's an affable, friendly guy. Like he's that guy who can come up and start talking to you. And I liken it to like him being like a female aphrodisiac to a certain extent. Like you can't help it but want to talk to him because there's
a difference between wanting to talk to him and asking him.
And then him asking you to lick his ass and you saying yes. I understand that. That's where it's a great thing to have it happen. So the interesting part on that is the middle. Obviously, like all the stuff that happens in that zone right there that goes from "Hi, how you doing?" to "Lick my ass." That's a very interesting.
If you asked me that at a bar, I would kindly be like, "I want to sit down."
I don't know that he would ask you at the bar. I'm not sure that that's the case. So I gotta. plug in here. Hold on.
Oh, MG.
The amount of awkward that I can read all over your face, Crystal, is making everything with this portion of tonight's show.
It brings me back to my broccoli story. When the guy asked me if I liked broccoli at the bar.
I don't know. Do you like broccoli?
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, I like broccoli. I love broccoli. And he goes, great, want to go have anal sex? And I looked at him and I was like, what is wrong with you?
Oh.
Hold on. Somebody that did that, if somebody did that to me, well, if anybody asked me if I wanted to have anal sex, I'd be like, no, thank you. I'm good. I appreciate that. But I don't know where the broccoli came in. Like, if he said cauliflower, I'd have a better idea.
According to his buddy, that's his pickup line. And his buddy was like, oh, God, that works on the girls all the time. I'm like, what is wrong with these girls? It's like, what is wrong with you?
Obviously, they're looking to have anal sex.
That's great. But
they want to get banged in the ass because they love Jesus.
Maybe. I don't know. I just know that a guy asking me about broccoli and then anal sex in the same conversation.
The fact that Mom even responded to this. Mom, that's awesome. That's awesome. God. That's awesome. So you're saying there's a chance, Mom. You're saying there's a chance.
Oh my God. Mother.
That is awesome. So she would do that with Brad Pitt.
Yes, she would. Oh God.
I'm sorry? Podcast right now.
I need a shot now. Yes. Really, Mother?
See, we're getting new followers as we speak.
Really?
I'm sorry?
Oh God.
Sure, if you want to come over and take a look. I'm talking to two other people, so you're not getting to see everybody who's with us, but this is
come on,
that's me. I'm in the middle, obviously.
Come on,
this is Crystal. This is John. Yeah, they can't see you. You got to come into the camera.
Yeah, we can't see you. Where is this person?
And
how are you doing?
You got to come in. You got to come in. Here, hold on. This is the best way to do this. This is the best way to do this. So they're not going to be able to hear right now. So unless I do this, can you hear?
We can. Yeah,
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, I pulled out the wrong thing. Hold on. There we go.
It's okay to pull out. Nope, your mic's muted now. There it is.
Now can you hear us?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Sean, your mom is cracking me up.
I know. I'm not okay with my mom being in here right now.
Everyone's a whore.
She's dating somebody. He just broke up with somebody.
Our own negotiating price.
And so obviously I'm here, right here. She's in Florida. Yeah. And he is in Michigan.
Yeah.
Florida. Okay, so all right. What's the purpose? Why are we talking to each other?
So we do a podcast every Tuesday night. Okay. It's called Two Birds.
Do you know your price?
Oh God.
He is
I don't have a price. Oh God.
We'll start auctioning you off.
Okay.
A little bit.
You know, that has been brought up to me before. A friend of mine was like, so how long do you think it'll be until Jamie and Crystal try to auction you off on a date? And I'm like, I give it 3 months and they try and auction me off.
Jamie.
I see it happening. You guys are going to auction me off for charity.
Yeah,
we got people watching all over the world right now.
I didn't know that.
Oh, Lord. It's going to be oh, man, what a mess.
What's your name?
She doesn't know her name.
I'm Kayla.
Kayla. And Kayla's single, so anybody who's interested, you just know next Tuesday, come to Dolans. She'll probably stop by.
Caleb will be there.
Everybody knows I'm here.
Do I have any hits? I have any hits?
Well, we haven't started yet. I mean, they just got to meet you. So next time you got to come on the show and actually.
Yeah.
Let me know if y'all like what y'all see.
There you go. So Kayla's available.
Let me know if you like
Oh,
what
you're
y'all see.
single.
I'm single, but I'm not available. I don't know.
So, we're having a dating show where
No, I think a dating show.
that will, like, we will be able to try to set you up. And actually, I was asked by PJ when we're going to do the next speed dating event.
Ah.
So I think he's interested in doing another speed dating.
We haven't done one since.
He's at home,
We
right?
did one here
Is
before.
he home in Philly right now?
Here, outside.
I might have to set some money aside and jump on a plane one day when I can get like a Tuesday, Wednesday off and go and
We're gonna do speed dating here.
go and hang out with him and do the podcast with him
Is that you?
from where he is.
JB and I've done it a couple times. Last time I went up there, I think it
I
was
was
like
doing-
round trip or something.
So,
My name is Jamie,
I might have to do that.
the Philly sports guy. Can't.
Can't miss them.
I tell you what. Hold on. Let's do this. I can give you my card.
All right, and Jamie, you let me know if I
Oh, he's got a cut. He's so
All right.
fancy.
So anybody
We all have
who's interested in Kayla, hold on. Let me plug back in.
Anybody who's interested in Kayla, definitely let us know.
Jamie know what my options are out there.
All right, and like I said, she's going to email me, and you may get a chance to win a date with Kayla.
Oh,
Yes.
snap. All right. We're setting
All
Kayla
right.
up. I like it.
You might win
I
three.
like it.
It would be three people, so like we can send her out on a bunch of dates. Well, not at the same time. 3 different dates. There you go. There you go. Never a dull moment here at
All right,
Dolans.
Jamie, I'm going to wrap you up.
Are you wrapping me up?
I'm wrapping
Goodness.
you up, Buttercup.
I'm the one that's holding the buttons here.
Yeah.
I know.
So I wrap up when I want to, but I understand. That was kind of fun though, watching, having people jump on like that. That's the type of thing that I like being at a bar.
Now,
Every once in a while you get the right person to come in. I wish we could have multiple sets of headphones that would work with the computer. That would be a lot more fun. I have like 2 other phones here that I could probably have brought headphones with and be like, hey, you got to get on this one. And we'll just bring you on. Maybe next time. See, look
maybe
at this.
next time.
Evolving. This is evolving.
We're evolving.
Hey, listen. Anybody who's going to be up a little bit later, especially on the West Coast, if you're watching on the West Coast, that it's going to happen somewhere around like 1 or 2 in the morning, the eclipse. On the East Coast, we're not going to see it. So Sean, you're probably going to have a better chance of seeing it.
I don't know. I know that there was some talk of it. I just don't know what time. I'd have to jump on Facebook or Google and see what time I need to look
Yeah, it's
outside.
like it would be like 2 o'clock in the morning your time.
Okay.
Well, you're in Central.
I'm Eastern.
So yeah, then it might be. Yeah, that's why I said 2 o'clock because I thought you're in like Detroit area.
Yeah.
That's 2 o'clock. I told you I lived in Warren, Michigan, right?
No, I don't think you ever told me that.
Oh, I used to live in Warren, Michigan for a little while.
I grew up near Warren. I grew up in Berkeley, so I know Warren very well. Played against their high school in sports. Well, both of
17
them.
Mile and Van Dyke Boulevard.
Yes. I know the area well.
Do you guys actually make left turns yet, or is it all still rights?
It's all still U-turn. It's the Michigan U-turn thing, man.
U-turns and rights. They don't
You
make
gotta
left
go
turns.
right to go left.
You got to turn around to go left.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyways, guys, I appreciate everybody coming on. Sean, I really do appreciate you jumping on. Like I said, I'm
Anytime.
sorry. I'm sorry for your loss.
It's, you know what? It hurts right now. I'm processing it. It is what it is right now. There's nothing I can do to change it. I'm rolling with it. I'm being as supportive as I can. She's an amazing woman. I can't. Does it suck? Yes. Am I mad about it? No. Am I mad at her? No. Am I angry at her? No. Things happen for whatever reason they happen, and I am supporting her on whatever she has to do to find herself and get herself in a good place, because she deserves the world. She is a good woman. And
Yeah, you can't be angry. You can't be angry.
Nothing ever went wrong. It just, now is not a good time. I've been constantly telling myself, right person, wrong time.
You'll get there.
Yep.
All right, guys. This little pumpkin's going to bed.
No.
Crystal, you have a wonderful evening. We are two birds, and we'll be back next week. I know I said I was going to get the dating doctor on here, the love doctor on. I couldn't find her card.
Uh-oh.
And I know it's somewhere. So it's I'll get her on. Like I said, I have two to choose from, and I gotta work it out. So
right.
and I didn't have as much time to do it. I can't guarantee that it'll be next week, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
But to everybody out there, have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the eclipse tonight. Hopefully it's not too crazy for everybody. And we are two birds.
To the bars. It's gonna be.
I'm like me. I'm out at the bar.
Yep. All right. Good night, guys.
Okay, get easy,
Good night,
guys.
everybody.
Good night.